You know, the Australian sprinters are famous around the world, so you've got to respect them. And they're you know, obviously last week's winner, Jolly Star, was very impressive. Lady Shellendale was incredibly unlucky. We see her this Friday. We'll be watching her closely. And the new 3-year-old that Chris Waller's just 4-year-old that Chris Waller's just nominated, who was incredibly unlucky in the Group 1. So it's not going to be a walk in the park. But I'd say, if ratings are any guide, they all need to probably improve on their current ratings to beat him, I think. The thing about the horse, he's got wonderful tactical speed. He's won races from the front, and he's probably been more impressive winning from just off the speed. But he's got an incredible ability to, when you start a horse, normally especially a speed horse, they tend to over race. That can give this horse a bit of a dig along, and then he comes back under him, and that's why he's so special. He got out 36 hours before, so he got out on an amber storm, but I was very pleased to see the videos of him safely in Sydney, because it was a pretty aggressive storm here. The airport got shut. It's probably open again now. Track work here. The horses were confined to quarters for a day, and there was a storm surge of 4 metres. Sha Tin racecourse wasn't impacted, but big parts of Hong Kong was. And everything's okay today, so we're moving on. Yeah, he's in great order. He's got some new shoes on, and he's settled in and enjoying having a pick of the grass outside the stable. And he's actually more relaxed in Australia than he is in Hong Kong, which is a good sign, I think. Yeah, he's physically about a 20-pound stronger horse. He did lose, I think, 22 pounds if the scales are correct, or they're calibrated the same, because the Hong Kong scales may be different than. But the most important thing is he's eating his feed, he's drinking his food, and there's a consistent weight in Australia. So we reset. I'm expecting him to be racing now at about 140 to 145, and he's virtually undefeated at that weight. So I'm not concerned about his weight. He's carrying terrific condition. I think very important that he's working obviously on his own all the time in the quarantine, and that'll be a bit of competitive company to trial against. He won't be out to break records, but we'll certainly let him increase the last 200 metres in the trial to stretch his legs out. It's just as important for my staff to have a dress rehearsal of what to expect at Randwick, and so the horse and staff they get a trip in the float. Here in Hong Kong, we walk to the track, and we're basically at the races and we're home. In Australia, he's got to settle in and do things. So yeah, that's a very important day for him. I'll be down there monitoring how the horse is coping and pointing the staff in the right direction. In Hong Kong, he gets what we call a bit jig-joggy and keen to get on with it when he goes out to work through the tunnels. And in the tunnels, sometimes there's between 40 and 100 horses going in and out. And just so many horses around him, he fizzes up a little bit. Then when he gets out on the track, he's lovely and relaxed, and it's a pleasure. But in Canterbury, where he's the only horse in town, or only horse on the track, he's walking out on the track as a trainer would love him to, and not getting too stirred up, and he's his usual relaxed self while cantering. So I think that's just a big plus, that he's not getting excited in the mornings. More relaxed. The more relaxed we can keep him, the more he's probably going to put up his best performance. Well, initially my sons had him at Lindsay Park, and he was galloping like a nice horse. And then after his second trial, one of my sons rang me and said, "Dad, I think this one's pretty good. I suggest that he's good enough to come to Hong Kong." And of course we brought him, and then with me, he was ticking along really well, winning all his trials here. And he did get beaten by a short half head a couple of times at his third and fourth run. But then on about his fifth or sixth run, when he started winning, he carried 62 kilos as a 3-year-old against older horses, drew barrier 14 on a slightly rain-affected track. Very hard for 3-year-olds to give older horses weight, and he absolutely trotted up and won by about 4 lengths, easing down, nearly breaking the course record, carrying that weight. I thought, well, you have to be very special to do that. And then here we are 10 runs later, still undefeated. I think he's on his 13th, but it was about his fourth run. I really always knew he was good, but not special. And from that point on, I knew he was very special. Oh, look, it's very special. When horses get 10 straight, they're in rarefied air. And to have a horse that can be compared with Black Caviar, a sprinter, or, the mighty Winks, we feel very privileged. And look, he's got another season of undefeated racing to go if he's to be compared to those horses. But at the 13 win mark, he is being compared, and that's quite an honour. Prue and I have probably got bigger thrills out of watching the children develop and win their races. We were stuck up here through COVID, and they really did it all on their own. And they've got their own clientele. They've developed their own horses. And it just, as I said, gives me great pleasure. But if they have a runner in the race, which maybe War Machine might put his hand up out of the Stradbroke, it'll give me great pleasure to kick their butt. It'll be good. Horses change legs when they're under pressure and they need to lift. And this horse is doing it on the wrong leg. So it just shows you, at times on the wrong leg. Look, in his last gallop, he changed legs. And in his last race, he changed legs. And Zach's just very excited for when he regularly does it, because he knows there's another trick to his resume, and he'll only get better when he does. So I do think there's still improvement in this horse. I'm looking like Zach will be coming back because he's got riding commitments for those meetings. I'll probably stay down with the horse from the trial into the race. Okay. Definitely trial, because I just want to see how the horse handles it and what I need to do after. And Zach will be in and out, flying in and out, and he'll come down close to the race. His regular riding boy will do most of the work at quarantine.